the last 100 meters to the summit. Come on. No, don't cry. You can do it.
I think many of you saw this in the news already, but a girl that was hiking the Rinjani a couple weeks ago fell into the crater and died. And I did the Rinjani hike in Indonesia in April. And this was quite scary at some moments because I slipped and fell one time. Look at this picture.
I actually climbed Rinjani 2 years ago, and since seeing so many people share their experiences, I wanted to share mine. The mountain is no joke.
It is the most mentally and physically draining thing I've ever done in my life.
Because it's definitely not an easy hike. It's really, really tough. It can get very steep and you just have to be very careful during the whole hike. Take care of every step you take because it can be quite steep, slippery, scary. You have to be very well prepared.
Think, oh yeah, it's just a walk in the park. It is not. When I say the summit, to get from the rim to the summit is like this, and it's just pure volcanic sand. You take 2 steps up, 1, sometimes 3 steps back, and it's just like climbing and climbing and climbing.
A lot of people have said how there aren't enough warnings about how hard the climb is, and whilst I understand that, I think with any mountain it's encouraged that you do your own research and you're kind of honest with your own levels of fitness before you attempt a mountain that is 3,700 meters tall. All in all, Rinjani was one of the most incredible experiences of my travels, and it's so sad to see something like this happen, not only for Juliana's family but also for the local guides and companies whose livelihoods depend on this mountain. Stay safe, do your research, and always respect the mountain.
I hope I educated you a little bit on this hike. I would definitely 100% recommend doing the Rinjani hike still. I had the best time. It was really challenging, but I loved that.
Kasus tragis yang menimpa Juliana Marins, wisatawan asal Brasil yang jatuh dan meninggal di Gunung Rinjani, masih terus menjadi sorotan publik. Di tengah ramainya perdebatan, muncul pula kesaksian dari para pendaki mancanegara yang pernah menaklukkan Rinjani. Mereka menyuarakan pengalaman mereka secara terbuka di media sosial dan mengakui satu hal yang sama, bahwa Gunung Rinjani bukanlah jalur pendakian untuk pemula. Medan yang terjal, cuaca ekstrim, serta kontur bebatuan yang mudah longsor menjadi tantangan berat bahkan bagi pendaki profesional. Banyak dari mereka yang menyampaikan bahwa tanpa persiapan matang dan pemahaman yang cukup, pendakian Rinjani bisa berujung petaka. Kesaksian ini sontak menjadi tamparan keras, khususnya bagi segelintir netizen Brasil yang sebelumnya dengan mudah memberi rating 1 bintang pada Gunung Rinjani dan menyalahkan pihak Indonesia atas insiden ini. Namun dari para pendaki berpengalaman ini, dunia akhirnya tahu bahwa bukan medan Rinjani yang layak disalahkan, melainkan ketidaksiapan dan ketidakpahaman terhadap risiko yang seharusnya menjadi perhatian utama sebelum memulai perjalanan mendaki gunung seberat Rinjani. Sepasang bule terekam tengah melakukan pendakian berat menuju puncak Gunung Rinjani. Dalam video yang mereka unggah, suasana penuh emosi terekam jelas. Sang wanita menangis karena kelelahan dan beratnya medan yang harus dilalui, sementara pasangannya terus memberi semangat agar mereka bisa menyelesaikan pendakian hingga ke puncak. Meski sempat hampir menyerah, mereka tetap melanjutkan langkah kaki demi langkah.
Come on. I'll give you my hand. You can do it. A little bit more. I'm not fucking liar, baby. The last 100 meters to the summit. Come on. No, don't cry. You can do it. Yeah. It's fine. Take a short break.
Melalui video ini, publik bisa menyaksikan secara langsung betapa ekstrimnya medan Gunung Rinjani. Bukan hanya butuh tenaga dan fisik yang kuat, namun juga kekuatan mental dan kerjasama yang baik antar pendaki. Sepasang bule tersebut akhirnya berhasil mencapai puncak, namun dengan perjuangan yang emosional dan melelahkan. Dari pengalaman mereka, tampak jelas bahwa Gunung Rinjani bukanlah gunung wisata biasa, melainkan tantangan serius yang tak bisa diremehkan. Kesaksian mereka ini secara tidak langsung menjadi pengingat bagi siapapun, khususnya para pendaki pemula dari manapun, bahwa persiapan fisik, mental, dan informasi yang akurat sangat penting sebelum menaklukkan medan seperti Rinjani. Seorang wisatawan asing yang pernah mendaki Gunung Rinjani pada bulan April lalu akhirnya angkat bicara usai banyak pertanyaan berdatangan kepadanya terkait tragedi yang menimpa Juliana, seorang pendaki asal Brasil. Melalui video singkatnya, bule ini menjawab rasa penasaran banyak orang sekaligus menceritakan langsung pengalamannya mendaki salah satu gunung tertinggi di Indonesia tersebut.
I think many of you saw this in the news already, but a girl that was hiking the Rinjani a couple weeks ago fell into the crater and died. And I did the Rinjani hike in Indonesia in April. So I got so many DMs of people asking me whether I would still recommend the hike. So that's what this video is about. I did the hike with Ali Tupan Rinjani and it was such a great company. Everything was organized very well. I felt super safe during the whole hike and I had a great time during the hike. The food was good. The sleeping conditions were good. We got a really big presentation of what we could expect in the beginning and everything was like planned very well. So we never arrived at the camp in the dark. It was really, really nice. And we also had two guides, one who was walking all the way in the front and one who was walking all the way in the back. So sometimes I would just be walking alone at the second day and I knew there would always be a guide behind me that would guide me to the camp. So that was really nice. But you also have to be lucky with the weather conditions because on our hike we did the 3-day 2-night hike. There was a lot of rain every day, so the paths could get very slippery. And this was quite scary at some moments because I slipped and fell one time. Look at this picture. Luckily, I took a lot of medicine and things to treat my wounds with on the hike, so that's a really big recommendation. And also a big recommendation is that you take really good hiking shoes because it's definitely not an easy hike. It's really, really tough. It can get very steep and you just have to be very careful during the whole hike. Because also during my hike it rained every single day, which meant that it was super slippery in some parts. And my friend who was hiking in sandals, she slipped and rolled down a hill. And if she wouldn't have grabbed into the hill, she wouldn't have stopped and she would have gone down a cliff. So she almost experienced like a near-death experience, which was really scary. Like the whole group was suddenly full of adrenaline and really scared. Luckily, she made it back to the group and everything was fine in the end. Take care of every step you take because it can be quite steep, slippery, scary. You have to be very well prepared. And if you're not a good or experienced hiker, I would maybe recommend the 2-day 1-night one. I did the 3 days 2 nights and it was quite challenging at some points. Also, you were hiking for a lot of hours during the day. It's really pretty, so if you think you can do it. I'm also not a really experienced hiker. I didn't hike for a whole year before I did this hike and I did it quite easily. You cannot head back after you started the hike because it's just like a one-way route and you cannot decide to go back after the first or second day. You really have to complete the whole hike. I hope I educated you a little bit on this hike. I would definitely 100% recommend doing the Rinjani hike still. I had the best time. It was really challenging, but I loved that. So if you love hiking, I would definitely recommend doing it with Ali Tupan Rinjani. It's a really good company in my opinion. I also had a really, really fun group with all solo travelers. We had the best time. We became such good friends during the hike. We laughed so much, so that also made it a lot better. Follow me for all my travel and budget tips and you can also join me on many group trips in 2026. So keep an eye out on my page and I will see you soon.
Dari penuturannya, bule ini menjelaskan bahwa meskipun Gunung Rinjani adalah destinasi yang sangat indah dan mengesankan, jalurnya bukan untuk pendaki sembarangan. Ia menegaskan bahwa medannya cukup ekstrim, licin saat hujan, dengan tanjakan curam yang bisa membahayakan jika tidak disikapi dengan kesiapan fisik dan peralatan memadai. Ia bahkan menceritakan bahwa temannya sempat tergelincir dan nyaris jatuh ke jurang, menunjukkan betapa seriusnya risiko pendakian ini. Namun terlepas dari itu semua, ia justru memuji penyelenggara lokal yang dianggap sangat profesional, mulai dari briefing awal, makanan, hingga sistem pengawalan yang membuatnya merasa aman. Dalam pandangannya, kejadian tragis seperti yang menimpa Juliana memang menyedihkan, namun bukan berarti Gunung Rinjani harus disalahkan. Justru ini jadi pengingat keras bahwa alam liar selalu punya potensi bahaya dan setiap orang yang memutuskan untuk menantangnya harus benar-benar siap, baik secara mental maupun teknis. Baginya, Rinjani tetap layak untuk didaki, asal dilakukan dengan tanggung jawab dan persiapan matang. Seorang bule yang pernah mendaki Gunung Rinjani tahun lalu turut angkat suara menanggapi kabar duka tentang meninggalnya Juliana di kawah gunung tersebut. Lewat video reflektifnya, ia mencoba berbagi pengalaman pribadi demi memberi gambaran nyata soal betapa beratnya medan pendakian Rinjani.
Just been reading about that young girl that's died on Mount Rinjani in Lombok in Indonesia, and I just thought I'd add my 50p in as somebody that did it last year. I did the 2-day 1-night hike. It is the most mentally and physically draining thing I've ever done in my life. Let about 200 people on a mountain a day. So I was one of about 15 to 20 people that ended up summiting on day 1. Normally you hike to the rim, you camp, Then you hike up to the summit on day 2, watch the sunrise up there. Our guide said, "You've made it up quite quick. We've got time to get to the summit now, watch the sunset, and then we come back down. It's going to be dark. You can watch the sunrise when you get down. So have a bit of a sleep and then you watch it." Like, Rinjani is marketed as this big tourist attraction. So people go and do Mount Bata and Bali, and then they'll go over to Lombok. Think, oh yeah, it's just a walk in a park. It is not. When I say the summit, to get from the rim to the summit is like this, and it's just pure volcanic sand. You take 2 steps up, 1, sometimes 3 steps back, and it's just like climbing and climbing and climbing. If the weather was bad, because when I did it, the weather was pretty good. I thought if the weather was bad, like, this could be really dangerous. It's like this long path with like this big drop down the side. It's really not an easy hike.
Bule ini secara jujur menggambarkan bahwa mendaki Gunung Rinjani bukanlah sekedar jalan santai di taman, seperti yang mungkin dibayangkan banyak wisatawan setelah mengunjungi Gunung Batur di Bali. Menurutnya, medan pendakian menuju puncak sangat curam, beralaskan sandur vulkanik halus yang membuat setiap 2 langkah ke atas dibalas 1 atau bahkan 3 langkah ke bawah. Ini membuat pendakian menjadi ujian fisik dan mental yang sangat berat, bahkan bagi mereka yang sudah terbiasa naik gunung. Ia termasuk sedikit dari rombongan yang berhasil mencapai puncak lebih awal dan menyaksikan matahari terbenam sebelum turun di tengah kegelapan. Meski cuaca saat itu cukup bersahabat, ia menekankan bahwa dalam kondisi buruk, jalur ini bisa sangat berbahaya. Trek sempit di tepi jurang tanpa pembatas, dengan potensi angin kencang dan licin karena pasir atau hujan, bisa menjadi perangkap maut. Melalui pengalamannya, ia ingin membuka mata publik, khususnya terhadap mereka yang menyepelekan kondisi geografis gunung ini. Dalam pandangannya, promosi Gunung Rinjani sebagai objek wisata populer kerap membuat orang lupa bahwa ini adalah gunung berapi aktif dengan jalur pendakian yang berat dan berisiko. Tragedi yang menimpa Juliana menurutnya adalah momen menyedihkan yang harus menjadi pengingat bersama bahwa mendaki gunung bukanlah kegiatan sembarangan. Pendaki harus punya persiapan matang, pengetahuan cukup, dan menghormati alam yang tak bisa diprediksi. Karena mendaki gunung, apalagi setinggi Rinjani, bukan sekedar soal petualangan, tapi juga soal keselamatan dan rasa tanggung jawab.
Seorang wisatawan asing yang pernah mendaki Gunung Rinjani 2 tahun lalu, turut menyampaikan pandangannya setelah mendengar kabar duka meninggalnya Juliana, pendaki asal Brasil. Dalam videonya, ia tidak hanya menyampaikan belasungkawa, tetapi juga membagikan pengalaman pribadinya yang penuh tantangan saat mendaki gunung setinggi hampir 3.700 meter tersebut.
That was the summit back up there.
Hi everyone, I wanted to speak on the recent tragedy on Mount Rinjani in Lombok, Indonesia, where the young backpacker Juliana sadly lost her life. It's very heartbreaking and my thoughts do go out to her loved ones and family. I actually climbed Rinjani 2 years ago, and since seeing so many people share their experiences, I wanted to share mine. The mountain is no joke. It's 3,700 meters tall, and it takes about 2 to 4 days sometimes to climb to the summit, with 10 hours hiking each day. You have a local guide to climb, and the team that I went with was super knowledgeable and amazing, and made sure our safety was number 1. We had about 40 in our group, and probably only half made it up to the summit. It was a real physical and mental challenge. A lot of people have said how there aren't enough warnings about how hard the climb is, and whilst I understand that, I think with any mountain it's encouraged that you do your own research and you're kind of honest with your own levels of fitness before you attempt a mountain that is 3,700 meters tall. All in all, Rinjani was one of the most incredible experiences of my travels, and it's so sad to see something like this happen, not only for Juliana's family but also for the local guides and companies whose livelihoods depend on this mountain. Stay safe, do your research, and always respect the mountain. Take care. Bye-bye.
Dalam refleksinya, bule ini menegaskan bahwa Gunung Rinjani bukanlah gunung biasa yang bisa didaki tanpa persiapan matang. Ia menyebut bahwa butuh waktu antara 2 hingga 4 hari untuk mencapai puncak, dengan durasi pendakian yang bisa mencapai 10 jam per hari. Medannya sangat menantang, baik secara fisik maupun mental, dan bahkan dalam grupnya yang berjumlah sekitar 40 orang, hanya separuh yang berhasil mencapai puncak. Ia sangat menghargai profesionalisme tim pemandu lokal yang menurutnya sangat mengutamakan keselamatan para pendaki. Namun ia juga menyayangkan bahwa banyak orang meremehkan tantangan Rinjani hanya karena gunung ini dipromosikan sebagai destinasi wisata. Menurutnya, justru karena statusnya sebagai gunung aktif dengan jalur berat, seharusnya para calon pendaki melakukan riset mandiri dan jujur terhadap kapasitas fisik mereka sebelum nekat mencoba menaklukkannya. Ia menyampaikan rasa duka yang mendalam atas tragedi yang menimpa Juliana. Menurutnya, peristiwa ini bukan hanya menjadi duka bagi keluarga korban, tetapi juga menyakitkan bagi para pemandu lokal yang selama ini menggantungkan hidup dari pariwisata gunung. Lewat pengalamannya, ia ingin mengingatkan semua orang untuk selalu menghormati alam, mempersiapkan diri dengan serius, dan tidak meremehkan potensi bahaya yang ada. Karena mendaki gunung, apalagi setinggi Rinjani, bukan sekedar soal petualangan, tetapi juga soal keselamatan dan rasa tanggung jawab.
Dari semua pengalaman yang disampaikan para bule ini, satu hal yang nggak bisa kita bantah adalah kenyataan bahwa Gunung Rinjani memang bukan tempat main-main. Medannya ekstrim, cuacanya bisa berubah drastis, dan butuh fisik dan mental yang benar-benar siap. Bahkan pendaki berpengalaman pun mengaku kesulitan menaklukkan jalur yang curam dan licin, apalagi buat yang baru pertama kali mendaki. Apa yang dialami Juliana memang menyedihkan dan jadi duka bersama, tapi menyalahkan satu negara tanpa benar-benar paham kondisi di lapangan juga bukan hal bijak. Kenyataannya, hasil autopsi di Brasil pun menguatkan hasil dari Indonesia, bahwa kematian Juliana disebabkan oleh benturan keras akibat jatuh, bukan karena kelaparan atau kedinginan, seperti yang sempat disangka. Dan justru yang makin membuka mata kita semua adalah cerita-cerita para bule lain yang pernah mendaki Rinjani. Mereka bukan cuma berbagi keindahan alam Indonesia, tapi juga mengingatkan bahwa setiap pendaki harus punya rasa tanggung jawab terhadap dirinya sendiri. Harus paham risikonya, harus jujur dengan kemampuan diri, dan yang paling penting, jangan meremehkan alam. Buat kita di Indonesia, kasus ini harus jadi pembelajaran, bukan untuk saling menyalahkan, tapi justru jadi momen untuk memperbaiki sistem, memperkuat prosedur keselamatan, dan terus edukasi wisatawan dengan cara yang bijak. Dan buat netizen dimanapun, yuk kita belajar untuk lebih hati-hati sebelum menghakimi.